our visibility and all that is good. It doesn't even really matter because we're not flying VFR. We're going to fly IFR.
Well, that's funny. You don't have AC, so you don't have the step here. Typically, there's a step here.
Oh, is that right?
With AC, yep. So there's a lot more leg room. That's awesome.
Good. All right. Fit for flight. I'm safe. I feel good. You?
If you're here, I'm safe.
All right, man. I love the confidence, man. All right. You know about the caps. You know about the hammer because you're a serious guy yourself, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. Egress, you know how to deal with the doors, all of that. Fire extinguishers down here at my left.
Yep.
I know you want to smoke, but there's no smoking.
Oh.
Doggone it, right? Use of oxygen, we're not going to need it today. Confirm, and seat belts are all good.
Yep.
Down low and tight. All right, so at this point, usually I'm putting in my own VFR flight plan as this thing's warming up, and then I do my checklist. So let's do the checklist.
Yeah, do your thing completely normal until the point where you call ground.
You got it. So flaps are up, confirming those are going up.
Yep, coming up.
Looks good. Radios and avionics. We have tower, we have ground, we have ATIS, and we have 128.55. You know that one?
Special flight rules.
There you go.
And this too is special flight rules.
Yeah, so let's get that on VFR for the moment. All right. Cabin heat and defrost. We're not going to need that at the moment, and it's off right now as it is. Fuel selector, switch tanks. Make sure that we don't stall. Parking brake is released. Brake check. I'll let this thing fly or go forward a little bit. All right, brakes work. HSI orientation is good. Attitude, gyro, we're good there. Turn coordinator, we'll check that whenever we're taxiing. All right, let's get ATIS.
6, altimeter 294, GPS and VOR approaches in use, landing and departing runway 26. Notice the airman, use caution for parachute jump activity, 5 northeast of the field at below 8,000. All aircraft read back hold short instructions, runway and advise on initial.
Well, I'm going to have to move over there.
Probably, yeah. We can do that.
Tower information uniform, Tom 2255.
All right.
230 at 7. Visibility clear. Temperature 26, dew point 16. Altimeter 294. GPS and VOR approaches in use. Landing and departing runway 26. Notice the airman. Use caution for parachute jump activity. 5 northeast of field at and below 8,000. All aircraft read back hold short instructions and runway assignments to your call sign and advise on initial contact. You have information uniform.
Uniform. Boom.
Camera tower information uniform, Tom 2255 Zulu, wind 230 at 7, visibility 10, sky clear, temperature 26, dew point 16, altimeter 294, GPS and VOR approaches in use, landing and departing runway 26. Notice the airman, use caution for parachute jump activity, 5.
All right, so we're going to be good there.
Solid.
Let's get our barometric pressure in. It's going to be 2984. Get that down. Let's switch it over here too.
Perfect. And there's no one behind us. So here's the thing. To be proficient, what we'll do is we'll load the IFR flight plan into the system in the run-up because you just don't want to be here for too long.
Yep.
But if we wait to get to the run-up to ask it from tower or ground, and then they start thinking about us and going in and looking for it, that will waste about 5, 6, 7 minutes.
Okay.
So to be efficient, let's ask for our clearance now.
Ask for clearance now. Okay.
If they have it, they'll give it to us, we'll copy it, and then we'll taxi to the run-up. If they don't have it, we'll request taxi clearance, but we'll save ourselves time. Does that make sense?
Okay, that makes sense.
Perfect. So do you want to give it a shot to copy the craft clearance?
My first one ever. I can give it a shot.
Have you ever heard them on YouTube?
I've seen them on YouTube.
On YouTube? You give it a shot. It's no different than flight following.
Okay.
Other than the Ventura Papa 6 routing.
Okay.
And then climb and maintain, expect that. I'll tell you what, write it down, give it a shot. I will read it back though.
Okay.
And then we'll see what you came up with.
Are you going to?
I'll write it down too.
I'll write it down as well?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to ask them, or Camarillo ground we're on, so we're going to ask Camarillo if we can get our IFR clearance right now.
Correct, yep. Tell them that November 381 Charlie Delta, or Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, looking to pick up our IFR to Torrance with information what?
It's going to be uniform. Perfect. Information uniform. Camarillo ground, good afternoon. Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta looking to pick up an IFR clearance to Torrance with information uniform.
381 Charlie Delta, Camarillo ground, you're clear to the Torrance Airport. On departure, turn right, heading 275. Radar Victor is Van Nuys, Victor 186. Adam, Victor 394, Seal Beach, direct. Climb and maintain 3,000, expect 5,000 in 5 minutes. Point good departure frequency 124.7.
I got it.
Squawk 4760.
I got it. Don't worry about it. I just want to see what you came up with. This works, right?
Yep.
Cool. All right, November 381 Charlie Delta is clear to the Torrance Airport on departure, right turn heading 275. Radar vector is Van Nuys, Victor 186. Adam, Victor 394, Seal Beach, then direct. Climb, maintain 3,000, expect 5,005. Departure frequency 124.7, squawk 4766.
381 Charlie Delta, Rebec is correct. Advise when ready to taxi.
Ready to taxi, 1 Charlie Delta.
1 Charlie Delta, runway 26, taxi via Golf 2, Golf Alpha.
Golf 2, Golf Alpha to 26, 381 Charlie Delta. All right, good stuff. So
Yeah.
at least you got an idea what, what that sounds like.
I'm like, what is he saying? Okay, so that's going to be my Achilles heel, I can tell already, is writing down this information, and he was not playing. He was given that information.
And we'll talk about that in the run-up. Something do we just said? He was not playing, he was giving the information. I'll tell you something about that will help you. And we said
Awesome.
Golf 2, Golf, and then
Yep.
Alpha. Awesome, good stuff. Welcome to IFR.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Amazing. My little VFR days are going to, well,
Yep.
I guess improve. They're going to have to improve.
It's just, you know what it is? It's flight following on steroids.
on steroids.
That's
yeah.
it. It's a longer clearance, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, sure. After everything he just said, it's the same thing.
But you saw, we expected the tech route.
Yeah.
I expected that, and he threw all that at us, right?
Right.
And that's what we said in the room. The more you could show up mentally with a clean slate, clean sheet of paper, ready for whatever, the easier it'll all be, right?
Yeah.
They could throw anything at you.
It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
How much information gets shot out at once.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm just now starting my IFR training. So when I'm
Yep.
listening to him rattle off all that information, it's like, oh my God, what?
Yep.
I got lost after the first one. I wrote down 185, and I was like, and then he kept going. I'm like, what?
186.
Or 186. See, look
Yep.
at you. Your memory is insane.
So this is good. So this is good that it happened, because the goal of today, before you even start IFR training, is to show you what? To show you what an IFR flight A to Z looks like.
Yeah.
So later on, when you start training small little, you learn about this, you learn about that, you can start piecing the pieces together.
Oh, yeah.
This connects with that connects with that. Perfect. Good stuff. So here's what we'll do. We'll let the engine warm up, and we can load up our flight plan.
Sure.
So here's the flight plan. I'll interpret for us, and I'll put it in the foreflight so you can see what that looks like. But pretty simple. We're clear to the Torrance Airport. On departure, right turn, heading 275.
275.
When could you begin turning away from runway heading in IFR after takeoff?
400 feet.
Exactly. So he didn't have to tell us that. We know IFR rules. We know that we turn to 275 when?
At 400 feet.
That's it.
AGL, right?
Exactly. It's very simple, right? So anytime in IFR you're told, hey, fly this and such heading after takeoff, they're talking about what altitude?
400 feet.
Simple.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. So 275. Radar vectors to Van Nuys. How are we going to get from here to Van Nuys, according to this plan?
Camarillo ground, Cessna 510,
275.
descend with uniform type.
Initially, we're flying 275. Will 275 take us to Van Nuys? VOR?
I don't think so.
It won't, right? How are we going to get there? What does radar vectors
51029er, camera ground, runway 26, taxi via Golf Alpha, verify you had uniform and union.
Radar vectors means he's going to give radar vectors.
Exactly. That means that he will direct us
029
To
all
Van
the way
Nuys.
to Van Nuys VOR,
I gotcha.
from which we will join what Victor Airway?
186.
Exactly, Victor 186.
Awesome.
Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So if you think of airways as freeways, our on-ramp to Victor 186 will be what? Van Nuys.
Van Nuys, okay.
Our off-ramp from Victor 186, when we leave Victor 186 or exit it, will be Adam waypoint.
Adam waypoint.
Right? Remember he said Adam?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Adam will also serve as our on-ramp to Victor 394.
Gotcha.
So different Victor Airways come in and out of different waypoints. So Adam has Victor 186 shooting to it,
Yeah.
and it also has Victor 394 shooting out of it,
Oh, okay.
right? So Adam will be the point where we ditch Victor 186 and join Victor 394.
Oh my gosh.
That makes sense? Think
Yeah.
of it as freeways or roads and intersections. And then Seal Beach, right? So Seal Beach will be our off-ramp from Victor 394 and then direct. So the last part here is just like the route we saw before. Straight line from Seal Beach to the airport to Torrance.
Right.
And that's where we'll fit in a nice instrument approach.
Amazing.
Okay? So we'll build this on the iPad. And then once we get a visual idea of what we're talking about and what we're going to do, we'll go ahead and feed the airplane this information.
Okay.
Okay? And this is what I was talking about before. Interpret. It's an extremely important step. Imagine you right now, let's say you were good with ForeFlight and you knew exactly what this meant, but you know how right now you have no clue what this looks like?
Right.
Right? Imagine feeding your plane this information without yet knowing what it looks like.
Oh, no.
It's crazy.
Tragedy.
Right? So interpreting this is equally as important as feeding the information correctly. So, I'll do that right here, ACMA, and from there heading 275 and expecting vectors to where?
Van Nuys.
Van Nuys, right? V and Y. So Van Nuys is the next waypoint that my airplane is able to identify and track me to after takeoff. Because the heading is just a heading.
Yeah.
Radar vectors are just a bunch of headings. Van Nuys is the next waypoint that I could track my plane to using my GPS, my autopilot.
Gotcha.
Right after takeoff. That's why I put that next. Van Nuys is next.
Amazing.
Right? After Van Nuys, Victor 186, B186, space.
Oh, cool.
And that contains all the waypoints in it.
Whoa.
But it doesn't know where our off-ramp is, so it just takes me all the way to the end of Victor 186.
That's insane.
We don't want to go there. We want to go only to Adam. So I need to tell it the off-ramp. Adam. A-D-A-M-M.
My camera ground text to the restaurant.
Now it stops it at Adam.
Oh my gosh.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I just told it I want to join Victor 186 where?
At Van Nuys.
And I want to get off at Adam.
Adam.
Perfect.
That's cool.
Yep, and then I want to join Victor 394 from Adam. And again, it doesn't know any better. It takes me all the way to the end of Victor 394.
Gotcha.
But I want to take it south, not north. To where? To Seal Beach. So it goes, oh, cool. Well, there you have it.
So, okay.
Right? So it takes me down to Seal Beach. And then from Seal Beach, direct. So my next one will be KTOA. This right here is extremely similar, if not exactly like the tech route.
Yeah.
But anytime he doesn't give me the tech route and he gives me what's called a full route clearance,
Yeah.
just to make sure I don't miss anything, because maybe one waypoint or something will be different, I write out the whole thing. So this looks exactly like we were planning.
Sure
Or
does.
very similar, right?
Yeah.
Other than the Ventura. Remember, it initially was going to
Yep.
Ventura. Yep. So it's straight to Van Nuys. That's why he gave us it this way and not the tech route. So here we go. This is what we're doing. So we're going again, similar, just like that. We will load an instrument approach here, so it's ready to go when we get to Torrance.
Okay.
And then, other than that, it's all the other stuff. Climb and maintain 3,000. We'll expect 5,000, which was our final cruising altitude 5 minutes after departure frequency, and squawk code. You're familiar with these two. So, the what?
124.7 is going to be Magoo, and then the obviously squawk. So I can put the squawk in now.
Yeah, so we'll do it in order.
Okay.
So I'm a big fan of loading your avionics in the same order that you received your clearance.
Oh.
What did he give us first?
The route. Okay.
Before the route, he gave us a heading.
Yep.
Right? So I load my avionics the same way he gave me the clearance from the moment I take off. So I think of it that way. What's the first thing I'm doing at 400 feet AGL?
You're going to fly a heading of 275.
Boom. So let's set 275 on the heading book. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Just go in order. You can't lose yourself.
there's
if you go in order.
275?
275. Boom. What's the next thing he said we'll expect?
Uh,
Radar vectors to?
Van Nuys.
Boom. So we'll load Van Nuys. So now we'll start loading the route. So we'll go in here, and let's put Van Nuys under case right there. Yep, VNY.
Do you put KVNY or just VNY?
No, Van Nuys, just the VNY, the VOR.
Oh, the VOR, got it.
Because we're not flying to the airport.
VNY. You gotta love these,
Oh yeah.
the old 430s.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, enter.
Boom. After that, we need to put in all these different waypoints. And this is where the 430 is a little bit
Dicey.
a headache, but
Okay.
it is what it is. Darts, I'll read it off to you.
So D, oh. D-A-R-T, and it's plural, right?
Yep. D-A-R-T-S.
Enter.
Perfect. The next one is PERMS, P-U-R-M-S. Who names these? I don't know.
I don't know, somebody with a lot of time on their hands. P-U.
R-M-S.
Enter.
Next one will be Elmo.
Elmo?
Elmo.
That takes me back to Sesame Street days.
Uh-huh. E-L-M-O-O.
E-L-M.
O-O. You'll get lots of practice with the G430 in these.
I'm telling you. Makes me want to upgrade to a new,
Says everyone.
says everyone, huh?
Uh-huh.
Elmo.
Next one is It's Me. I-T-S-M-E. It's me.
Are you kidding me, man?
Sure. Dude, these waypoints got the best names. It's me.
It's me,
I think
Elmo.
I think there's a COVID waypoint in the country.
Stop it.
Yeah. C-O-V-I-D.
Oh, it's me.
It's me.
H-I.
Didn't make it up.
Man, I can see how this,
Right now, this seems like, oh my gosh, this is taking so long. This is a lot of stuff. A day will come where you'll run so efficiently through all these steps. This whole thing will take you 9 minutes.
wow.
The whole thing.
It's me,
Piro. P-I-R-R-O.
P-I.
P-I-R-R-O. There it is. And then Adam. A-D-A-M-M. Boom. Next one will be Dowd. D-O-W-D-D. We're almost there. Next one is Pow-Up. P-O-W-U-P. Pow-Up. P-O-W-U-P. So imagine an IFR flight from here to Texas. That's a lot of plugging in
Oh my
with the
gosh.
430s.
That's a lot.
It is, yeah.
P-O-W-U-P.
Yep. And the next one is Anaheim without the N.
So A.
So A-Heim. H-E-I-M.
A-H. E.
E-I-M.
E-I-M.
Yep. But you'll see on our flight back, this whole process, even though it'll just be our second time,
Yeah.
will feel a lot more familiar than you think it's going to. Perfect.
Intersection.
And then the next one is SLI.
S-L-I.
Seal Beach. SLI. There we go. And then KTOA. Lawrence.
My gosh.
There it is.
Whoa.
Yep. Now you want to go to the map. And you want to zoom out. This is where you want to do that bird's eye view.
Oh, come on. It's out.
There we go. Does that look like what we thought it's going to look like?
Yep.
Any lines extending to Seattle or Boston or New York?
No.
Good. So it looks pretty much like we want it to, right?
Yep.
Perfect. The next one is to go all the way up. Oh, not that, sorry. All the way up. Because I'm here, I'll help you out. Otherwise, you do it yourself, and we'll go down one waypoint at a time and read it out. So I'll give you the names and just verify you got them right.
Okay.
VNY.
VNY.
Yep. Darts. Perms. Elmo. It's Me.
Yep.
Piro.
Yep.
Adam.
Yep.
Dowd.
Yep.
Powup.
Yep.
Aheim.
Yep.
SLI.
That's right.
KTOA.
Got it.
Done. Double verification complete. You just acknowledged that you're human. You could have made a mistake,
Yep.
and you double check to make sure you didn't.
Yes.
So now when you take off and ATC says, hey, fly your cleared route, and you tell the autopilot, hey, take it away, you know the plane is taking you along the route that you want it to take.
That's right.
Right. And this is where you catch it, not then.
That's right.
Okay, perfect. So we're done with the route, right? We did the route. Now let's move on to the altitude. Climb, maintain 3,000. So we'll plug 3,000 in the altitude.
Okay.
Next, departure frequency is 24/7, so we'll put that on the standby of COM1.
Oh, yeah.
You have the tower in active of 1?
Active
Perfect.
in 1, so 124.7 is
Yep.
good. There we go.
And then squawk 4766.
4766.
Boom. Now, when you loaded it all, I do a quick thumbs up thing. Not the in-depth, but just to make sure that you actually got the altitude and you actually got the heading bug.
Gotcha.
So I start from the very beginning, heading 275, check.
275.
Route, check. We double
Looks
verified it. Altitude, 3,000, check.
Yep.
24/7, check.
Yep.
4766, check.
4766, yep.
We just, back to what we talked about in the room, this whole process started in the control tower. It transferred to our ears. We repeated it through our mouth, and our fingers transferred this to the airplane.
That's right.
Do you see how that kind of works? Could you visualize that?
Oh, yeah.
And this is what an IFR flight comes down to. There's so many points where it could break down and the communication could go wrong. I could have repeated this wrong and he not catch it and say read back correct, and then load it the way I wrote it down, and now I'm doing something wrong.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So there's all these different points in IFR where it could go. So just something to keep in mind. I want this to be as real for you as possible.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of what happened. So there we go. We just loaded it. Awesome. We're done with this. Now move on to your normal checks and flows.
Okay.
As you would for any other takeoff.
All right, cool. So doors, look at that. Caps, handle, pin, and it is available. Seat belts, shoulder harnesses are all on and on properly. Fuel quantity is confirmed. Fuel selector is on the fullest tank. There we go. Fuel pump is on. The mixture as required. Yeah, it's a nice hot day, so let's lean it.
Yep.
Flaps 50%, and we're going to check that. Make sure it goes
That'll
down.
work.
The way I like to check that is right there. That's good. Transponder is set to our squawk code. Autopilot check. I like to, well, this is what I'll do then. It's going to our heading here.
Boop. And you also want to make sure you go, oh yeah, there you go, perfect.
Yep. So then, 275 is good, but I'll just fix this.
Roger, taxi Foxtrot Alpha over to 265.
There we go. All right. Navigation, radios, and GPS is all set. Cabin heat, defrost, not needed. Brakes, we're going to hold those and go up to 1700 RPMs. I like to go to the engine page at this point. So we'll go 1700.
50 Echo Squawk 4766. 476650.
All right, there we go. So I'm going to load up. Watch my amperage. Okay, yep. Takes it once, twice. Good change. 1, 2 left. 17 down to 1640. Good. 1, 2 back. Should go back up to 1700. Good there. 1 to the left. We had 1640 on the last, and 1650 on that. 1640. That looks good. So both check. Now let's pull an idle. Does not stall. Go back to 1,000. All right, go back to my checklist here. And let's confirm everything I did. Alternator check, yes. Pitot heat, already did that. Landing lights are on. We had all that on while we were doing that amp up. Voltage checks out good. The pitot heat as required, we're not going to need that right now. Navigation lights, all are on right now. Magneto's already checked out. Engine parameters. Everything is looking good. Flight instruments, good. Flight controls free and correct. Full deflections. Everything looks good. Trim.
Cool, they're about to jump out of that thing.
Yes, they are.
Yep.
Right over the hill over there. On the, right by the delta, the north delta.
Love it.
All right. And then autopilot disconnect, we're all good there. So next checklist actually is going to be the takeoffs, but I like to go climb and then get that to show and then get that out of my face type thing.
Perfect.
All right. So.
Awesome. So we could go to knockout a takeoff briefing.
Okay.
Part of the takeoff briefing, the way I like to think of takeoff briefings, many people think of what comes to mind when you think takeoff briefing? Safety, 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 safety,
Yeah.
safety. How about we include in our takeoff briefing also a little bit of the plan.
Sure.
Meaning, here's what we're going to do when we rotate. Here's when we're going to do it. Here's what we're expecting. So what that means in real life is when we rotate, we're going to maintain runway heading to what altitude?
400.
At 400, we're going to turn to what heading?
275.
We're expecting what?
3,000 feet.
And what else?
Expecting 5,000.
Not with altitude, but in terms of our headings and our route. What
we're
are
going
we
to be vectored.
to where?
Van Nuys.
Exactly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Here's what we're doing, where we're doing it, and here's what we're expecting.
Okay.
Okay? So that's also a great idea in terms of your takeoff briefing. Once you've done that, you could come back and say, in the event that we have any abnormalities or whatever, you can start talking about your stuff.
Yeah.
But it's really good because that before you take off, this is the last time that you're kind of priming your brain for what you're about to do.
That's right.
Cool. All right, take it away.
All right. So then the normal takeoff briefing at this point is we're going to line up for runway 26. We're going to take off. And if for some reason I don't like something, maybe the engine or the airspeed indicator is not indicating, or I'm not liking something, maybe something smells wrong, I'll abort the takeoff. If we get off the ground and we lose an engine and we still have runway, we'll put it right back down again and full brake. If we get up to pattern altitude and we lose an engine, we'll try to get back to the airport and land. And that would be about it. If we get above 2,000 feet, and we'll try to troubleshoot if we lose an engine, and come back to the airport or pull CAPS if necessary. CAPS is available at 600 feet AGL, and my hard deck is 2,000 feet AGL. So anything above 2,000 feet, I will give a shot to try to see if I can't cure the problem before we pull the parachute.
Perfect. You know what? It's music to my ears when I hear people in their takeoff briefing include the following words. If the reason we need to return back to the airport involves my engine, what does that mean to you?
Well, I guess that means only the engine, right?
It means that most people, when they think of these situations, that I'll have to come back to the airport, they're thinking engine.
Right.
There's 1,000,001 other reasons. In fact, they're more probable than losing your engine.
Sure.
Right? So to include, if the reason I need to come back, if we need to come back for some reason, I'm going to fly a normal pattern and land. If, however, it involves my engine, then I'm going to talk about all the other stuff.
Okay.
And that reminds you that there's other possibilities where we might have to come back and land. How about a door popping open? You can't really close it in the air.
Yeah.
We'll fly back a normal pattern and land.
Sure.
Right? So also remember all those other things that are even more likely to return you back to Camarillo
Right.
than losing an engine. So in a sense, most people, they spend the most time talking about the most unlikely. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Right.
So just kind of I'm just throwing all this at you within the few hours that we have together so you could just think about these things tonight.
Sure.
Perfect, good stuff. Okay, awesome. Okay, so that's all good. We are ready to go. In IFR, we don't want to taxi up there because they need to clear us and they need to coordinate with approach, so we don't want to block that.
Okay.
So you want to get on with them over here and say that run-up is complete, we're ready to just say ready to take, say we're short of 26, ready to go IFR.
Okay.
And then if they say hold short or waiting for release, you could just hang out. If they say you're good, we could just taxi out.
So at this point, we're still in the run-up area.
Yes, I'm sorry, say run-up complete, looking for IFR release.
Looking for IFR release.
Yep.
Okay. Camarillo Tower, Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, run-up is complete, looking for IFR release.
Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, Camarillo, you're still up with ground. You can continue taxi forward, you're number 1 for departure, contact tower.
Continue taxi, number 1, contact tower, 1 Charlie Delta.
Perfect.
Camarillo ground, carrier track 229 at restaurant, request taxi to runway 26 to departure right crossing with information uniform.
Carrier track 229, Camarillo ground, runway 26, taxi via Golf 2, Golf Alpha.
Taxi via Golf 2, Golf Alpha to runway 26.
Alright, so let's switch over to tower now.
Inbound on the approach.
TBN 700 Alpha Yankee, Camarillo Tower, roger. Continue on a sequence for you in a moment.
Alpha Yankee.
Number 215, traffic 2 miles south.
Does this work for you? Could you hear them?
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Can you hear them okay?
Okay, yeah. It was just a little too loud, too high. Before you contact them, I just want to say, the goal is for you to take as much of this in today. And so with that, the more autopilot, the better. Because I want your brain to be as free to capture the big picture items today.
Okay.
Right? What we're doing as a whole.
Perfect,
good.
All right.
Up at Bravo, over to ground. Thanks for your help. 04 Hotel.
Camarillo Tower, Sirius 381, Charlie Delta, holding short of runway 26 at Alpha.
November 1, Charlie Delta. Somebody in the run-up just said it appears that your door is your baggage door is open.
Okay, can I taxi back to the run-up area and close that?
Affirmative, sir. Are you able to make a right there?
I can make a right.
And November 1, Charlie Delta, roger. You can make a right there, and just advise when you're ready to taxi back up.
Outstanding. 1, Charlie Delta. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
I'm so glad somebody saw that.
Good catch.
All right, so let's
Go into one of these.
Number 0 Alpha Yankee, runway 26, clear to land, traffic will depart prior
So
to
what I'll
runway,
do
number
is, I'll set my parking brake.
Yeah, I'll get the airplane.
TBM 5 mile final report traffic in sight.
All right, God, it's getting warm in these here rhinos.
That's a 215, extend downwind, follow a TBM on a 5
Oh, you don't need your key to lock it, right?
Oh, I do.
Do you need your key to lock it?
Oh, no, not to
just
lock
latch
it. No,
right?
just latch it.
Cool.
Perfect.
All right, here we go.
Also requesting right downwind departure.
72 Delta Mike, camera tower right downwind approved, runway 26, clear for takeoff.
26 clear for takeoff.
All right, I got the airplane.
All right, you got the airplane.
Tower, Carrier track 497 is over the Satakoy Bridge, inbound for a full stop.
Clear track 497, camera tower, make right traffic runway 26, report 1 mile 45.
Right traffic runway 26, report a mile 45, Carrier track 497.
Quebec, North Pat, on my go.
Helicopter 36 Quebec, North Pad, clear for the option.
North side 50 option, 36 Quebec.
Camarillo Tower, 918 Victor Tango, inbound on the 26 BOR approach and practice.
You know, if nothing else,
918 Victor Tango, Roger,
that got me some air.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
It's nice, yep.
Number 918
My
Victor Tango, Roger,
goodness.
continue, report a 4 mile final for runway 26.
Well, that was something else. I can't believe I didn't,
Hey, it's, you know what I call that? Good learning.
good luck.
Guess who won't forget the baggage door ever again?
Me.
There you go.
This guy.
Right. And was this worth that happening? Yeah, I
Yeah.
say yes.
Yeah, it was.
It's a lesson that cost you about, what, 0.2 gallons of gas? It's pretty
That's
good.
right.
Please stay in that pattern.
All right, so I'm going to need to get clearance again, right, to go up?
Yeah, you can just let them know that you're ready to attack. You're ready to, just say you're ready to go with the same guy.
1211, and we'll expect left close traffic for pattern work, crew check 497.
Good afternoon, Camarillo. Sirius 329 Delta Alpha is just off Oxnard, inbound with, I believe it's uniform.
Sirius 329 Delta Alpha, camera tower, make left traffic runway 26, report 1 mile 45.
Left traffic for 26, 329 Delta Alpha.
Camarillo Tower, Sirius 381, Charlie Delta is good to go.
Norm 1 Charlie Delta, Roger, taxi up to the hold short line, and we'll get you going in just a moment. Thanks for your patience.
No problem. Taxied up to the hold short line, and thank you, 1 Charlie Delta. Sorry, I messed up on that one there.
You didn't mess up. Why is that a mess up?
497, maintain, if you can,
It's one of those things where
your current
it's not what you
altitude,
normally
overfly the
hear,
runway and enter left
and
downwind
so
for runway 26.
you want to sound like you know, like I know what he wants me to do. He wants me
Number 2 Delta
just
Mike, traffic
post up,
about 2
hold
miles north
short.
of your
So
position.
here's what I'll say about that.
1,200
There's a
just set in on the
giant difference
Camarillo.
between not sounding like a fighter pilot
329 Delta Alpha.
and messing
Cessna
up.
918 Victor Tango, number 3, runway 26, clear to land, traffic will depart.
You did not sound like a fighter pilot there.
No.
Did you mess up?
Cleared to land.
No, I told him what I was going to do, but I was like, why?
Right.
It sounds weird. Why I'm saying this?
So call things what they are. Many people go, oh, I didn't sound cool, then I messed up. It's not messing up. you repeated exactly what he told you to do to hold short of 26.
November 2 Delta Mike, previously
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
Call things what they are, because your brain, the more you tell yourself you messed up, the less good you are, that it's just a horrible thing.
Yeah.
November
Right.
2 Delta Mike, Roger.
So keep that in mind.
It appears that you are above that traffic now. Frequency
Sounding like a
change,
fighter
copy,
pilot is like the cream on the crop.
Yep.
Perfect. Awesome.
I can't wait to get an air conditioned
Oh
Cirrus.
man, yep. Makes a huge difference.
Because it's not even that hot out here.
Yep.
But when you're in this little capsule.
Oh, it's horrible. Yep. Once you get going, you got the airflow.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, just on the
Reminder
ground.
Delta Alpha, make a right 360, please. Make a right 360.
Right 360, 329 Delta Alpha.
Is that too loud for you?
Right now it's good.
You're off, Yankee.
Is your thing all the way up?
Should be.
Yeah.
I just love to hear them clearly. You know what I mean?
You might want to switch batteries here in a little bit.
Okay.
It's blinking red.
Number 8 Victor Tango, confirm. Are you VFR or IFR?
Oh, it's good.
8 Victor Tango is BFR, practice approach.
Number 8 Victor Tango, Roger, thank you.
Do you have a
Yankee, should we contact ground?
Do you have a pre-takeoff flow when you take the runway? Things you look
Yeah,
at?
so I'll go, I boost my, mixture where I want it, flaps where I want it, lights are on, and then everything else is going to be like right here.
Career track 497, you can
A few things to think about.
descend and maintain pattern altitude, or
Pin is
I'm gonna
out.
have you extend your downwind, so it'll be
Finals
a couple
cleared.
miles. You can climb for the grade if you need.
And trim set for
Descend and
takeoff.
maintain pattern altitude, and we'll expect an extended
Just take it or leave it. Just a few other things you can
You're
look at.
following an aircraft on about a 7-mile final. It's the second aircraft on final.
Because really, it's the last point you'll make sure the pin's out. Guess what? If you need this at 600 feet AGL and you came to pull and the pin was in,
Yeah.
there goes your parachute.
Yeah, I know. So climb out at 400, turn 270, so I'll hit the heading.
275.
275, I mean. So I'll hit the
Number
heading.
215, left on Bravo, kind of ground 28. Number 1 Charlie Delta, runway 26, clear for takeoff.
Runway 26 clear for takeoff, 381 Charlie Delta.
All right, here we go.
Awesome.
Make sure where I want it. Pin. Nobody on final.
Let me grab those things from you. You don't need this.
Here we
Hamaya
go.
Tower 90641 Quebec, practice approach at level Yankee, runway 26.
Number 9641 Quebec, Camera Tower, Roger, will this be a full
All
stop or
right.
missed approach?
Missed approach for 1 Quebec.
Full power, looks like.
Base tower.
Helicopter 36 Quebec, Roger, proceed
All right,
via
airspeed is
the-
alive.
proceed
Engine
via the
instruments are
fluid
all
or-
in the green.
Here's a Blue 36 Quebec.
Number 36 Quebec,
71,
Roger,
let's
proceed
go
via the
ahead
fluid
and
left traffic taxi with
climb out.
Foxtrot. Rabin the
Traffic.
Way to land. Foxtrot 36 Quebec. Hamaya Tower 216 Delta Golf, holding short 26.
Practice RNAV 26 Zulu approach.
Number 216 Delta Golf, Camera Tower, runway 26, clear for takeoff. Another way, please.
Alright, that's way 216 Delta Golf,
Flaps
clear for
are
takeoff,
gone.
runway 26.
3 November Delta, Camera Tower, Roger, report a 4-mile final from runway 26.
So 400,
4 mile final, 3 November
275.
Delta.
Number 401 Quebec, follow Cessna on a 1-mile final. Number 2, runway 26, you're clear to land.
Traffic.
And then how do you want to climb up to 3,000
November,
feet?
correction, career track 497, turn base runway 26, actually extend downwind. Traffic you're following is on about a 4-mile final. Report that
sorry,
traffic
so he
in sight.
wants
And how do you want to climb up to 3,000
Number 401
feet?
Quebec,
Oh,
number 2, runway 26, clear to land. Travel
like
as far
BY.
as your arrival.
Good. So,
Tower Sky 658.
do you have a way to climb at a certain airspeed?
Number 6,
Well, I could,
872,
not
Roger.
airspeed, no.
That is just feet a minute?
November 864, or 90641 Quebec, Camarillo Tower.
You
How
can
do you
do
hear
that.
the
Do
transmission?
500.
Final clear for 1 Quebec.
Do 1,000 feet a
401
minute.
Quebec, number 2, runway 26, clear for the opposite drop. Will depart party arrival.
Yep.
Number 2 clear for the option for 1
Number 573 November Delta, reduce speed. You're
Good.
following a Cessna approaching a 4-mile left base. Number 3, runway 26, you're clear to land.
Reduce speed, number 326 cleared to land.
Number
How
269 Delta Sierra, Camera
How
Tower,
long are you going to stay on a 275 heading?
Number 9
Until
Delta
he
Sierra,
vectors
number 3, follow
Until he
a
tells you to do otherwise. Does
Cessna
that make
12 o'clock,
sense?
mile and a
Yeah.
half. Number
Brain
3, runway
dead.
26, or number 4, runway 26, clear
Does
to land.
Oxnard class Delta exist?
Not right now, it
Number
doesn't.
9 Delta Alpha, I apologize for the delay, but you
Simple.
picked a time to extend.
How
on.
long are
can
you
make a
going to
right,
make-
or make
hang
one
out
right
at
360,
3,000?
please. I'll sequence you in just a moment.
Yeah, no problem. Right
Until he tells
360,
you to do
329
otherwise.
Delta Alpha.
November 1 Charlie Delta, squawk 4760, please. 4760.
4760 for 381 Charlie Delta.
1 Charlie Delta, affirmative. That is for you.
Our career track 497 has the traffic to follow in sight, and we turn base because we're getting too close to the terrain.
Career track 497, Roger, thank you.
Look at that.
And November 3 November Delta, you have the traffic you're following 12 o'clock, mile and a half, 900 feet.
Negative contact looking.
Roger. And November 3, November Delta, if you'd reduce speed a little bit, it'll help you follow in sequence there.
Reducing speed, 3 November Delta.
Yeah.
Easy as pie.
Yeah, sure.
November 8, Victor Tango, contact ground point 8.
And Victor Tango.
It's very
November
simple.
6 Delta Golf, can you accept an immediate?
6 Delta Golf is flying. 216 Delta Golf.
This is definitely different than my usual
November 6
takeoff.
Delta Golf, Roger, frequency change approval, talk to
Yes.
you. You guys be safe.
No worries, frequency change.
I'm trying to think why it won't go to
5872, can you accept an immediate?
Immediate, yes, departing now, 872.
Number 65872, runway 26.
It is on 275.
Traffic. Takeoff, runway 26, 872.
Go around offset to the north side of the runway, please.
Side, see him?
Yeah.
Going around, offset to the right side of the runway for 1 Quebec.
Thank you.
Bonanza 227 Golf, number 126.
Bonanza 2271 Golf, Camry Tower, Roger, hold short runway 26, we'll get you going in just a moment.
Hold short of 26.
Yeah, 275, so I got a wind coming this way, so
Number
it's
41 Quebec with the departing traffic
like it
now.
is
Would you
tracking
mind starting a right crosswind now?
275.
It should put
Roger,
275
thank you for
regardless of the wind.
we'll
That's
talk to you guys
interesting.
later. Be
Well, we'll
safe.
see what it does.
Thank you for 1 Quebec.
Yep.
3 November Delta, traffic inside.
Number 3 November Delta, Roger, follow that traffic. You're number 2, runway 26, clear to land.
226, little land, 3 November Delta.
And you could reduce the power now just because we're hanging out at 3,000. We're not climbing anymore.
And 1 Charlie Delta, contact point, Magoo departs. Have a good flight, be safe.
Contact Point Magoo approach for 1 Charlie Delta. Thanks so much.
497.
All you could
said
say
you
in
wanna
that
make a
case
full
is just departure.
Be a full
1 Charlie
stop,
Delta.
clear
That's it.
Track 497, Roger.
And now,
128.2.
what are you doing? You're heading what?
2 Delta Mike, contact SoCal 134.2.
Yeah, 275 at 3,000.
That's it. So all you want to say is departure, Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta.
3 X-ray traffic.
Level 3,000, heading 275.
Direction 3,800 and climbing.
Wait for my window of opportunity here.
Now 903 X-ray.
You don't have to be a fighter pilot.
For 2 miles, 4,000.
I don't want to cut somebody off either.
Yep.
Magoo approach, Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta is 3,000, heading of 275.
Charlie Delta, Point Magoo approach, your radar contact. And I'm just curious, when did that tower switch you to this frequency?
A second ago.
About 15 seconds ago.
Roger. You are radar contact, climb and maintain 5,000.
Climb and maintain 5,000 for 1 Charlie Delta.
903 X-ray, the traffic's passing off to your left side, 4,000.
All right.
Go ahead, add power. And now tell the plane how to get there. So just these
1
two
Charlie Delta,
together.
turn right, clear, direct Van Nuys.
Direct Van Nuys, 1 Charlie Delta.
Okay, so we got to get...
Take care of the altitude first. Hit these two together. Good. And now the plane will climb to 5,000. And now direct Van Nuys. So
if you're up, the jump zone is going active here.
Highlight Van Nuys. Click on the... Good. Highlight Van Nuys.
Oh, gosh. Go
All
back.
good. Take it time.
Okay, VFR craft number 1 told to
Good.
stand by. What's your call
Direct
sign?
enter.
We have Cirrus 599 up.
So now we're drawing a pink line between us and Van
599 Papa
Nuys.
Mike, Point Magoo,
And now go to...
We'd like to request flight
Nav,
following to El Monte, 4,500.
There we go.
5,500.
A-type aircraft.
SR-22 slant.
So now the plane is going direct to
Van Nuys.
Van Nuys. So we're
This
done
is
with...
so trippy, man. How it...
1 Charlie Delta, turn right, heading 050, then you're clear direct Van Nuys.
Direct Van Nuys.
Direct Van Nuys, 1 Charlie Delta.
You don't have to do
Papa
that.
Mike, squawk 4773.
Just wanted to get you in that direction.
4773
What's trippy?
I remember when I first started
If you're up this traffic, passing up your left side,
my
5,000.
VFR, this is my private pilot, and I remember thinking at the beginning, like, I'm never going to get this. There's no way I'm going to be able to do this.
So we talked about,
Papa Mike is ready to contact the Kimmer Airport to
so
eastbound
that,
5,000, altimeters 29.
So now the VFR, regular flying stuff, it seems fine to me. It seems like whatever, yeah, it's just another day.
Right.
But now you throw in all this other stuff and new ways of talking to the tower. It's like, oh, here we go again.
3,100
You know, it's pretty trippy, man. But
Yep. But you get an idea. My biggest goal for you today is filing, clearance, interpreting, loading,
okay, thank you.
verifying,
that's how I know you got the transmission. Thank you. 41 Quebec, if you're up, the jump zone is
right now we're doing the
maintain
flying
your present
part.
heading
Right.
northbound.
But you see what goes into it,
oh, a lot. A lot goes into it.
right? It's not just jumping into the plane.
Quebec, Roger, expect factors here shortly for the VR26.
It's not just jumping into the plane and just taking off like you do in VFR.
Yeah.
Quebec, Roger, maintain VFR.
You can go to 1,000 feet a minute.
VFR on the go, 41 Quebec.
VFR aircraft number 2, told to stand by. What's your call sign?
Should do it.
It was a Diamond Star.
Let's see, our... Or 2,500.
9716 X-ray, Point Magoo, are you up?
I am up. Sorry about that. 126.
You can switch fuel tanks.
Just checking in, you're going to maneuver there, then inbound?
Affirmative, yeah, we're looking for a backup camera.
No?
Continue inbound and maintain VFR descent.
Usually I like to turn the boost off.
Roger, 126.
Yeah, turn it off. Yeah, you don't need it.
41K back, fly heading a 070, vectors
Alright, now
approach.
my fuel flow. I'm going to mind that now.
Yep.
So 4,000, it's asking for around
Number
24.
1 Charlie Delta has traffic 2 o'clock, 3 miles. They're westbound, 4,500 Cherokee.
Negative contact at the moment, but looking, 1 Charlie Delta.
Roger.
Where is that guy?
Magoo, Skyhawk 65872, VFR request.
Inside, see him?
872, 172 slant Gulf here, and we're looking
You don't have to tell him, he's busy.
maneuvers.
As long as we don't hit him, right? That's the goal.
72, squad 0412.
If he asks, you could say, but he's just busy.
Gotcha.
Good.
Squawk 0412, 872.
And you could reduce power. You could go to 75% power.
872 is ready to contact Satakoy Bridge, indicating 2,600. Altimeter is 2985.
2985, 872.
Good. And then we could lean the mixture.
So we're looking at 22.
Fuel.
Skyhawk 97172 would like to cancel flight following. Just head
So 75 with a lean assist.
72, radar service is terminated. Squawk VFR, frequency change approved. Good day, sir.
Frequency change approved. Squawk VFR 97172.
Save a bunch of fuel.
Yeah, I'm expecting
November 16 X-ray, contact the tower,
around
12812.
12.5 or 13.
128.2, 126, I think.
Yes, sir.
But I like to pull it off gradual. I don't like
yeah.
to jerk it back, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Nice warm day.
Oh, yeah.
13.5 probably.
November 872,
Add a little
traffic
bit of
2 miles
power,
northeast
or
of
add a
your
little bit of
position, indicating 2,600 westbound.
We're looking for traffic. There we go.
Perfect. Absolutely solid. So from here on out,
November 4, 1K back, turn right, heading 130.
We're heading 130, phone Quebec.
from here on out, from here to Torrance, this is nothing but flight following. That's it. The easiest part of IFR is en route. The vast majority of work happens beforehand,
to Kuga, report established in the hole.
and when you get there for the approach. The en route
navigation to
is
Kuga and
nothing different than VFR flight following.
Remember, Niner, Papa Mike, contact SoCal
And you care if I
134.2.
lower this a little bit?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'll make sure we don't miss a call.
Again, so I always have it high because I hate to miss a call.
I'll make sure we don't miss a call.
But luckily, I have you with me.
Perfect.
So.
Good. So right now, it's just like VFR flat following. In a little bit, we'll reach a different sector, which doesn't show on this map, and they will say, hey, contact SoCal on blah, blah, blah. You'll contact them, and guess what you'll tell them? Whatever you're doing. What does whatever you're doing mean?
I guess, well, my flight heading and then my altitude, right?
Perfect. What you're doing means both your horizontal and your vertical.
Okay.
Right? So that's what you check in with. So in our case, we'll say level 5,000, direct what?
Van Nuys.
November 3 X-ray, contact Santa
Make sense?
Barbara.
Oh yeah.
So the next call will be level 5,000 direct Van Nuys. The only time you could just say your altitude and omit the right-left is when you're actually flying your filed or cleared plan. Once we cross Van Nuys and we start making radio check-ins there, all we need to say is level 5,000 because we're on our cleared route.
Interesting.
Right now, we're still in that portion where we were expecting radar vectors to get to Van Nuys. They already gave us direct Van Nuys. So the next controller we talk to, we will make sure that we fill them in that we're doing direct Van Nuys.
Direct Van Nuys.
Yep.
So
5 Delta might have been checking in as well.
So when we talk to them, we'll say, Sirius 381 Charlie Delta is level 5,000 to Van Nuys.
Direct Van Nuys.
Direct Van Nuys.
Absolutely solid.
Okay, so level 5,000 direct Van Nuys.
4593 X-ray, Magoo.
Yep.
Gotta love that temperature inversion.
Oh man.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Oh yeah.
At 5,000 feet and
much hotter.
Number 1 5 Delta is traffic 12 o'clock for 2 miles.
Crazy.
They're over the
Okay, so now
4,500, but they're not responding.
Let's take a look a little bit at the approach plane.
Sure.
So if you pull, do you have your iPad? Here, let me grab your iPad.
The 3271 Golf, you're just local maneuver, is that correct?
Yeah, Fern, we're going to turn around
There we go.
and go to the coast and back a couple of loops, and that's it.
Excellent, thanks.
We'll talk a little bit about the approach we'll go ahead and do in Torrance. Now, another thing I want you to try and imagine best you can is that the entire day today we're in the soup. You can't see the outside.
Right.
And constantly through that, I want you to ask yourself, could we be doing what we're doing safely if we were in the clouds right now?
Yeah.
So far the answer is yes.
Sure.
I could take off, I could turn to heading of 275 at 400 feet, I could go direct Van Nuys, I could climb to 5,000. All these things I could do safely without seeing the outside.
15 Delta, the first traffic is
Agree?
now. The
right.
next one you're looking
Perfect.
for is
and I want you to continue questioning that throughout the day. If we're ever doing something today that you go, whoa, how would we do this if we're in the clouds right now? I want you to bring that up.
Charlie Delta, contact SoCal 134.2.
34.2, 1 Charlie Delta.
Perfect. And what are you going to tell them?
So approach, Sirius 381 Charlie Delta is 5,000.
Level 5,000, direct Van Nuys.
Direct Van Nuys.
SoCal approach, Sirius 381 Charlie Delta is level 5,000, direct Van Nuys.
Sirius 381 Charlie Delta, SoCal approach, Burbank altimeter 2984.
2984, 381 Charlie Delta.
Does that sound a lot like flight following?
A little bit, yeah.
That's it, right? So this is what you are familiar with.
Yes.
This is where the crossover from VFR comes really handy in IFR.
Gotcha.
Many VFR pilots, believe it or not, you live in the LA area, so flight following to you is nothing. If you lived in the middle of nowhere America, non-towered airport, there's people who fly planes, they don't talk with anyone.
That's insane.
And then they do their IFR. The problem with IFR, you might be able to get away without talking with people VFR in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
But IFR, regardless of where you do it, you have to talk with people.
That's right.
There's no place in America where I could fly VFR without talking with someone. So you're at a huge advantage being familiar and comfortable with VFR flight following, because that's really what IFR is in the air once you're en route.
Right.
So keep that in mind. That's a huge thing. And that advantage mostly comes from you flying and living in the LA area.
Yeah.
It's very busy airspace.
Yeah, no, I definitely, I feel, you know, what's the word? Fortunate. You know what I mean? To have to use all of my, you know, flight following skills and everything else. I mean, and talking to so many different people, because there's so many towered airports out here. If I was, you know, looking at Texas and I'm zooming in, there's so many magenta, you know, airports. It's like, my goodness, nobody's towered out here. You know, there's obviously there's quite a few out there, but you take that same thing in Tennessee and everything else. I just like to look and see how many, if I were to go there, would I end up landing at a towered or non-towered? And how would that look? You know? But luckily, I feel confident because I trained out of a towered airport. Every time I fly distances, I always get flight following because I feel like that is imperative, you know, for your safety. And obviously, like you said, you're not going to always get flight following, right? Because it's all dependent on workload. Right?
Right.
They're tending to the IFR guys, us lowly little VFR guys, you know. You know, it's like, well, I don't know, maybe I got time for you.
Yep. Perfect. So let's go ahead and pull up the approach that we want to fly in Torrance, and we'll start thinking about our approach into there and how we are going to link between the last point on our flight plan, which happens to be what? Seal Beach.
Seal Beach.
How are we going to connect from that to the runway, right? That's all an approach does. What does an approach do? It links what and what. What two things does an approach?
You're en route to the airport.
To the runway.
To the runway, yes.
Perfect, right? That's what an approach does. Okay, good. So, yep, ILS 29, right? And then our initial approach fix is Seal Beach, yep, because it's already on our flight plan. And then you could do add to route.
Here's 1 Charlie Delta, traffic 12 o'clock, 3 miles, maneuvering, altitude indicates 4,000, types unknown.
Not negative contact, looking for that traffic, 1 Charlie Delta.
Combo 197, the traffic's no factor.
12 o'clock, 1,000 below us.
12875, Combo 197, good day.
Should be to the left.
Yeah.
With the whole negative contact, all you could say to that is looking 1 Charlie Delta.
Looking. Negative
That's it.
contact, looking.
You don't need to say negative contact. If he tells you a traffic, you need to say looking 1 Charlie Delta. If he asked, do you have the traffic in sight, you could say negative contact.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Do you hear the difference?
Yeah.
He just gave you a heads up, there's traffic in the area. What are you doing in response to that?
I'm looking.
You're looking. So what do you tell him?
Looking, 1 Charlie Delta.
Simple?
Yeah.
Now what if he gets on and says, 1 Charlie Delta, confirm you have traffic in sight. What will you tell him?
Negative contact.
Does this kind of make sense?
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, good. Okay, perfect. And that looks like no factor. They're behind us and they're lower. Anyway, okay, good stuff. So look how cool this is. So now you selected it. ForeFlight throws the approach plate on the actual map.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to fly like we're flying on the approach plate.
That is the coolest thing.
Pretty darn cool, right? So let me just turn that off so we could see this clearer. Look at that. So we are here right now, and you could even do this. Direct to. Boom. And there it is. We're currently flying direct Van Nuys.
Amazing.
Yep. So this is our route right here. This is what we're doing.
That is so cool. I love it.
And this is the approach plate. So we'll start looking at this here in a moment and just kind of get an idea of what it's telling us and what we can expect. Okay. Take this in. This is the valley. Van Nuys is ahead of us. We're flying right to it. We're not landing at the airport, but we're using the VOR as a waypoint on our flight plan. Van Nuys, I'm just talking to cement things in your head. Van Nuys is the on-ramp to which Victor airway?
It is the on-ramp to Victor 186.
Perfect. Which off-ramp are we going to take to exit, to leave Victor 186?
Adam.
Good. Which Victor airway will Adam serve as an on-ramp for us?
It'll be Victor 394.
Perfect. And we will use which off-ramp to exit Victor 394?
A Heim or a Heim?
Close.
Oh, okay, Seal Beach?
Seal Beach. Do you see Victor 394?
Yeah.
It goes to Seal Beach.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So our off-ramp from Victor 394 is?
Seal Beach.
Perfect. Does this kind of make sense?
It does.
Victor Airways have on-ramps and off-ramps.
Now how about these TFRs?
TFRs don't exist in IFR just like airspace doesn't exist in IFR.
That is insane for me.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
If ATC doesn't want you in the TFR, guess what?
They'll Victor me.
Correct.
This is so weird, okay?
Remember, you have no control right here, right now, over where your plane is flying to, other than when there's communication, there's negotiation. If you want to fly there, could you ask for it?
I could ask for it.
Could they say no?
They could say no.
Good. So the best you could do is talk, communicate, ask, negotiate. Right. But as far as where you're going...
Delta, contact approach 124.6.
Approach 124.6, 1 Charlie Delta.
Perfect. And you also don't need to say approach, you could just say 124.6, 1 Charlie Delta.
Okay.
Yep. Cut your radio calls down. You're saying more than you have to.
Okay.
Which is better than saying less than you have to, but there's no need for it.
We'll keep an eye on them, and minor problem, Mike, we're going to start.
What are you going to tell them?
SoCal approach, Sierra 381 Charlie Delta, 5,000.
Roger that. So
or level 5,000, direct Van Nuys.
Perfect.
Okay, let me do that.
SoCal approach, Sierra 381 Charlie Delta is level 5,000, direct Van Nuys.
381 Charlie Delta, SoCal approach, I'll altimeter 2984.
2984, 381 Charlie Delta.
Absolutely solid. Easy?
Yeah.
Simple? Relaxed?
I mean, a little relaxed, but not really, you know what I mean? Because this is something out of my wheelhouse, so...
It's very new, yep.
You know, to me, it's like, this is happening, and like I said, thank God I have you in here with me, because I'd be lost. Absolutely lost.
You wouldn't be doing this if I weren't here.
That's 100% right.
But another thing I want to drive home, how inefficient of a route to get yourself to Torrance.
It's very inefficient.
Right?
Because normally I would take flight rules right over the top of LAX and just dump down into Torrance.
Correct. So obviously, just the routing is probably the biggest downside to IFR.
Yeah.
What are some upsides that you could think about?
Upsides? Well, if it's overcast.
Meaning, why would we stupid people accept this? What are some upsides we get in return?
Well, we're getting a lot of a lot of safety, safety nets.
So we have people looking out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Positives for this. Well, we can. I mean, it's not the answer. Is not flying in the clouds, right?
Yeah. You said flying through an IMC.
Okay.
That's a huge one. That's 2.
Flight following, so safety. Not too sure.
Those are probably some of the biggest ones, right?
Yeah.
We could fly. But my point is, we're willing to accept burning extra fuel, taking longer, in exchange for flying an IMC.
Oh yeah.
And that increased safety, right?
100%.
People are looking out for us, terrain, traffic, the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Right, so keep that in mind. It's an exchange. IFR is an exchange. I'm exchanging my time and money in exchange for the ability to legally fly through clouds.
That's right. And to keep current for IFR, you have to do an instrument approach every 6
instrument
months?
approaches every 6 months.
Every 6 months.
Yeah, but back to what we talked about in the room. In the real world, most of your IFR flying will be done in sunny, beautiful conditions.
That's right.
And you'll get cleared for the visuals,
yeah.
Right? So many people, surprisingly, find themselves at the end of the 6 months going, oh my gosh, I need to shoot some approaches. Even though they've been flying IFR. They've just been accepting all those visual approaches all along.
And departure, good afternoon, Southwest 30
right.
with the
So,
other two.
so currency is something that you have to consciously think about. It won't just happen, even though you're flying IFR.
3000, Southwest.
Right? If we wouldn't request an approach, if we won't request an approach here into Torrance, they'll clear us for the visual. Because it's beautiful and sunny.
Oh yeah.
Right? But we will request an approach, and we'll request to fly the full approach, just so you can see what that looks like. Does that kind of make sense?
Oh, 100%.
Because the name of the game is efficiency, right? The air traffic control wants you out of the way as soon as you can.
Mike and contact
right? They want you on the ground and out of their way. And the fastest way to do that is a visual. Second fastest is vectors to final. Least fast is full approach.
Right, heading at 270.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. 270, Southwest 30.
Different levels of efficiency.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, good. So, pulling up the approach plate. Obviously, we're not teaching how to brief approaches or any of that, but you'll get the main gist of it here. So, first thing you want to make sure is we're looking at the approach for the airport and the runway that we're actually flying to.
Yeah, right.
Right, and this is easy.
30, continue that right turn heading at 340.
And this is easy. Many people show up, they pull up an approach, they start reading it, briefing it, while all along they're looking at the wrong runway.
Oh my gosh,
right?
yeah.
It's hard to miss the airport, but it's easy to look at the wrong approach. The easiest thing to do is to pull up maybe the GPS 29 right instead of the ILS 29 right, and you don't catch that, and something might be different. Typically, it probably even won't, but you just want to make sure. The first thing is I want to make sure ILS 29 right into Torrance. All right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, pretty straightforward. Seal Beach is that last waypoint on our flight. From Seal Beach, we're going to Odeki.
Odeki, okay.
Right? From Odeki, we're turning, joining the final to Driffy. Driffy is our...
Oh God, what do they call that? The intermediate.
Intermediate fix.
Intermediate
Perfect.
fix.
From there, we're continuing on to Zilba, which is our...
Final fix, right?
Final approach fix.
Final approach fix.
FAF, right? From there, the final approach fix, is the point from which we start sliding down the slide to the runway. That's another way to think of it, okay? So we have Driffy, intermediate, and then we have Zilba as our final. So this right here is called the plan view. Bird's eye view. I'm looking at the plan from the top.
Okay, got it.
This right here is called the profile view.
Okay.
I'm looking at it from the side.
Sure.
So these two together give me a 3D way to start imagining what the approach looks like.
Yeah.
Here's where I'm flying. Here's where I'm descending.
Have a good one.
3D. Okay?
Yeah.
Make sense?
Oh yeah.
Perfect. So what's this approach telling us? It's telling us, assuming we're cleared for the approach here, being cleared for an approach means what? That we are free to fly the airplane in accordance with the numbers published on the chart.
Okay.
So that means that if we're here, coming up on Seal Beach, and we're at 3,000 feet, and the approach calls that we may descend to and maintain 2,000 on this segment, if we are cleared for the approach here, guess what? Once we reach Seal Beach, we could descend to 2,000.
Okay.
Because we could begin complying with the approach plate altitudes and disregard our last assigned altitude.
Gotcha.
That's what cleared for the approach means. Okay?
All right.
So, assuming we're cleared for the approach from Seal Beach to Odeki, what altitude?
2,000.
Perfect.
Now, let me ask you this. We'll be at 5,000 in Seal Beach.
They will give us a descent prior.
They will. Okay.
Because the thing about ATC is they know where you're going, they know that you're approaching your airport, and they will begin stepping you down and descending you.
Okay, got it.
Yep. Seal Beach, assuming we're cleared for the approach, we'll descend to what altitude?
2,000.
Perfect. From Odeki to Drippy, what altitude?
2,000.
From Drippy to Zilba, there's nothing there, so we'll come down here. What altitude?
It's still 2,000.
2,000 all the way to Zilba. Zilba, we start sliding down the slide. Zilba is where we will intercept our glide slope, and that will take us all the way down to the runway. So from Zilba, we'll begin descending all the way to the runway. And you'll see what that looks like with the autopilot and the approach over here.
I've never done that before in this airplane.
I'll just show you. I don't expect anything from you. I just want you to watch how I do it.
Please.
And see how your plane could take you all the way to the runway.
That is insane.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep. And then eventually, we'll pop out of the clouds whenever we pop out of the clouds, and the runway will be right there.
I love it.
We'll disconnect autopilot, and we'll land. We'll make sure we get flaps full before we land, and then we'll touch down. Simple as that. Okay? So this is the gist, the big items. Obviously there's more, but I don't care about that right now. These are the big item stuff as to how to read an approach plate.
Wow.
Not complicated.
Yeah, it's not complicated, really.
You figured out that was 2,000.
Yeah.
You figured out that was 2,000.
All right.
Right? You figured out that we're beginning our descent here and not here.
All right.
Right? A lot of this is intuitive. Don't overcomplicate it.
Okay.
It's new. That's all it is.
Hey, I've never flown over this.
There you go.
Amazing.
Take it all in.
Turn heading 340.
I've never flown over this area. It's so crazy. Switch tanks at this point.
I would keep it, because look at that.
This isn't accurate.
Oh, okay.
So I go off of my used. So when I did my measurements of my tanks, 33 and 33.
If this is not accurate, do your thing.
20 heading.
Yeah.
Go with 30.
I mean, that's just Avidyne. Avidyne's fuel is known to be erroneous.
Got it.
So I always go off of this and I time it every 5 gallons.
Cool.
All right, so boost pump on. And switch. I'm watching my gallons per hour go up. Lets me know this is working.
So now, let's go ahead and load the approach.
Roger.
Okay.
Loading the approach doesn't change anything, because remember, this is our cleared route. Loading the approach slaps the approach to the back end of our flight plan and places it on like a standby mode. Once you load an approach and it's on standby, when we're cleared for it, it's just a matter of a button to get the airplane to fly it. So loading the approach ahead of time saves you a lot of workload and time later on.
Oh, okay.
So let's go ahead and load it. And here's how we do it. Procedures. What do we want to do out of these? Take a guess.
We want to select an approach.
Good. Here's how smart the people who built this GPS are. They know that when you hit procedures en route, you'll most likely want to select what?
The approach.
That's why they have it defaulted to that.
November 1 Charlie Delta, conic approach on 125.5.
25.5, 1 Charlie Delta.
Perfect. Now we're past Van Nuys, we're on our route. You don't even need to say direct anything, just say level 5,000.
Circle approach, Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, level 5,000.
Did I switch it?
25,000.
381 Charlie Delta, circle approach, altimeter 2982.
2982, 1 Charlie Delta.
Perfect.
Is it okay if I check my fuel?
Absolutely.
My best economy, we're good. Okay, back to this.
Oh my God, do your thing.
Yeah, I like to make sure of, like, because after you go boost and then you turn it off when you switch tanks, sometimes it goes to too lean.
Perfect.
And I like to doctor it before.
And you don't have to ask me if anything's okay. You're the pilot in command here. I'm their passenger, so you got to do your thing and fly the airplane. Yeah, so whatever you need to do, knock yourself out.
Okay, got it.
Don't lose sight of that. Okay, select approach. So the people who built this GPS, guess what? They knew that we will be sitting here someday.
Yep.
Right? And want to select an approach. So it's default to that. So all we need to do is hit enter. Perfect. And it automatically pulls up the different approaches that Torrance has because Torrance is our destination.
That's
it already knows it. So it says, hey, here's our menu. Here's what we're serving for lunch today. ILS 29 right.
Yeah.
Localizer 29 right. RNAV 11 left. RNAV 29 right. Or VOR 11 left. You got different options. What would you like to order, sir?
Doesn't this have something to do with the type of what I have on board? Like this is non-WAS.
Yeah.
So doesn't that
the WAS only has to do with the GPS? We're doing ILS.
Oh, we're doing an ILS.
Yeah.
All right. So then ILS 29 right.
So select ILS. So enter.
Enter.
Perfect. And now, just like ForeFlight, it showed you different options of initial approach fixes. Right?
Yeah.
Here it just calls it IA for short, initial approach, instead of IAF.
Yeah.
Right? Or vectors. Guess which initial approach fix we want?
SLI.
Cool. So we'll highlight that and hit enter. Perfect. And now it draws it out. Does that look a lot like ForeFlight?
Yes.
Right? We have two options. We have load, right there.
Yeah. Or activate.
Or we have activate.
All right.
If we activated the approach right now, guess what would happen?
It would probably start.
It would immediately sequence us into the approach via the initial approach fix we selected, which is Seal Beach. So it will look like this. If I hit activate right now, the plane will draw a pink line to Seal Beach.
Okay.
And then from there, Odeki, Drippy, Zilba,
I gotcha.
29 right. And the plane will turn and fly there. We don't want to do that. We want to keep flying our route.
Yeah.
But we do want to place it on standby so it's ready to go later on.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is load it. Hit enter.
Okay, load it and enter.
And it just says GPS guidance is for monitoring only, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it's almost like agree to the terms and conditions.
Okay.
And there it is. Did anything here change?
No.
Does it look different?
No.
Is the plane running away from us?
Oh, now look at it.
Good. Is the plane running away from us right now?
No.
Good. Nothing as far as the plane flying is different other than we added that so it's ready to go.
That's amazing.
But in a way that it won't go to it right this second.
I gotcha.
Right? And we could confirm that if I scroll all the way down. There's our destination. Looks what we just slapped. Look what we just slapped behind it, after it.
Oh
the
my
approach.
gosh, yeah.
And the approach is Seal Beach, Odeki, Drippy, Zilba, runway 29 right.
Whoa.
We slapped it to the back end of the plane. So we're not changing what the plane's doing right now. It's just ready to go. So now, we're done with that. We're back flying. I want you to imagine we're 7 minutes ahead of now, right?
Yeah.
And we're somewhere around Seal Beach, and ATC says, clear direct Seal Beach, cleared for the approach. Here's how simple it is to activate the approach now that we've done what we've done. Hit procedures. Look what it's defaulted to.
Activate approach.
All you need to do is hit enter, and the plane will do the rest.
That's insane.
That's why loading it is important. But you see how intuitive this is?
Oh yeah.
The people who built this unit knew exactly what the pilot will expect and when.
Amazing.
Before, when you hit procedures, what option showed up?
Procedures.
Select approach.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Why now when I hit procedures it shows me activate approach?
Because it's already in the system, it already knows.
It already knows what I want now versus what I wanted before.
Right.
It's intuitive.
It's the steps, it already knows. You're loading things up in steps.
Exactly. I can't load an approach unless I first selected one. I can't activate an approach unless I already
have it.
Loaded it.
Oh, okay, loaded it. My bad.
Yes,
wrong word.
No. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Said I maintain 4,000.
You said it maintained 4,000, 1 Charlie Delta.
Perfect. And this is coming up a nice sharp turn.
Arrow 3848 Tango.
Plane should lead it. There it is.
Riverside leaving 2,000.
4,000.
With a request for local approaches.
And you can reduce some power because the goal here is to stay ahead of the airplane, not to smoke it. Does this make sense? The intuitiveness of this?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Tanker 101, confirm. Are you headed towards the fire near Lake Matthews?
Tanker 101, it's firm.
Tanker 101, descend VFR to 6,000 for
awesome work.
traffic.
Good stuff.
Going to 6.
So I feel like even though you don't know every single thing, I feel like you're ready to view this plane fly the ILS 29 right, and to just take that in, right?
Yeah.
Perfect, good.
November 9 Mike, Sierra, Roger. Make a left turn heading 080 by San Bernardino, Ada.
Is anything I'm saying not making sense?
No, it all makes sense.
Okay, good.
Approach American 1517
So
descending
cool.
via Thorn 3 with Romeo.
So cool.
American 1517.
So you don't think about class Bravo, you don't think, none of that exists. ATC tells you where to go.
Except 9,000.
It's a brain dead type of flying.
Bravo, maintain VFR.
You could do this in the clouds. You could do this in and out of the busiest cities that might intimidate you flying VFR. Because no airspace exists. This is the same process you would go through flying into Torrance or into Houston.
November 381 Charlie Delta, contact approach 121.3.
121.3, 1 Charlie Delta.
Aero calling SoCal, identity request.
3.
Now, we descended to a lower altitude. We're already there, so we could say level 4,000, and we don't need to say anything else because we're on our cleared route. So just say level 4,000.
SoCal approach, Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, level 4,000.
Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, SoCal approach. Hello, advise when you have golf. You can expect the ILS 2908, warm September 2982.
2982, and we'll get the weather, 1 Charlie Delta.
Perfect. And we could expect the ILS 29 right, so that's good with our plan. And let's go ahead and grab the ATIS.
Okay, so ATIS
in Torrance.
Is 125.6.
Cool. Absolutely solid work, Sean.
All right, we are receiving.
Service, runway 11 left passive, service. Runway 29 left passive, beyond 9 degrees left, beyond 2 degrees right, runway center line out of service. Direction tower light 4.6 nautical miles east, wind 0.9 feet AGL out of service. 5G no times effect for Sim Torrance Airport, multiple cranes over Sim Torrance Airport. Take no times for more information. All aircraft feedback, hotel instruction, runway sound with call sign. Advise on the show contact you have golf. Return for information, golf time 23470 Zulu, wind 270 at 11, visibility 10, dew clouds at 900, 10,000 scattered, temperature 22, dew point 17, with 2984, ILS runway 29 right approach in use, landing part runway 29, foreign south frequency 133.07, dew class for bird activity on or vicinity airport, dew class for approximation all runways and taxiways, see if Torrance knows minimum procedures in effect, as for information for California coastal walls and flight service frequencies. Also, Airman Santa Monica VOR service, runway 11 left passive service, runway 29 left passive, beyond 9 degrees left, beyond 2 degrees right, runway 7
done with information, yeah.
Section tower light.
That's right or left crosswind?
It's so 390 or 370, I think is what he said.
Is there such thing as 370?
I'm sorry. No.
270.
270.
So just a touch of right or left?
270 from 29, it'll be to the left.
Perfect.
Left.
Just a smidge of left crosswind. Affirmative, and we'd like the full approach.
Affirmative, and we'd like the full approach.
Versus vectors final.
Was that for me?
Say 3 Charlie Delta has golf, 1 Charlie Delta has golf, and we'd like the full approach.
1 Charlie Delta, when you're requesting the full approach, are you saying versus vectors to final? You want to do the full thing from Seal Beach to Drippy?
Affirmative.
Affirmative for 1 Charlie Delta. Yes, we have golf.
Okay.
Awesome. Good. You see that?
Yeah.
Communication. She would give you vectors to final.
Okay.
Right? And you asked for...
1 Charlie Delta, connect approach 125.35, 2535.
2535, 1 Charlie Delta.
2535.
Yep. And what are you going to tell them? You're still on your cleared route, and you're level 4,000, just say level 4,000, and you could say we have golf.
Approach Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, level 4,000, and we have golf.
381 Charlie Delta, SoCal approach, roger.
Perfect. And just to confirm with them, you could say, and we're looking for the, we're expecting the full approach from Seal Beach.
Okay.
Yep.
The full approach. You're expecting the full approach?
Here, I'll show you what it sounds like. And approach, just to make sure, 381 Charlie Delta, we're expecting from the previous mission will be full ILS 29 right from Seal Beach.
Charlie 3817, contact approach on 134.35.
It's always good to just be on the same page.
3435, guys, 3817. For 1 Charlie Delta, you can expect that.
Roger, thanks, 1 Charlie Delta. See that?
Yeah.
So now I confirm that I'm on the same page with him and he's on the same page with me.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, it would just be a guess.
Yeah, that's
because I haven't confirmed with him. I confirmed the previous controller.
Yeah, right.
I want to make sure that I can expect the full approach.
Because they may not transfer that info or something.
Correct, right? So now we're coming up on Seal Beach. If by the time about 2 miles, 3 miles from Seal Beach, he doesn't say cleared for the approach, we will confirm that we're good to fly the full approach because our cleared route is there, full approach is there. I don't want to turn there when he's expecting me to go there.
Got it.
So if he doesn't take the initiative and clear us for the approach,
November 1, Romeo Juliet, contact approach on 1.
by about 3 miles to Seal Beach, we will get on with him and take the initiative. A big part of being an IFR pilot is having initiative.
Okay.
I don't want to wait on the controllers because if I wait on the controllers to take care of my life, I'll get nowhere.
Got it.
Now, that's an exaggeration. I will get someplace, but sometimes it's far too late.
I understand.
Okay? So you want initiative. Once we confirm that, all we need to do is this. Boom, boom.
Got it.
Because remember, what does activate approach do? It draws a pink line between the plane and the initial approach fix that we selected. In our case, Seal Beach.
Right.
And from there, it sequences you onto the approach.
Okay, got it.
Is that simple?
Yeah, so if we did not set that up, it's going to fly us
The
straight.
Torrance.
Got it.
Because remember, this is standby.
November 1, Charlie Delta, approach as requested. 3 miles from Seal Beach, cleared ILS runway 29 right approach.
Just say cleared ILS 29 right approach.
Cleared ILS 29 approach, 1 Charlie Delta.
Perfect. So now we're cleared. So that means we could go that way.
Okay.
What do we need to press here?
We're going to go procedure.
Good. Do we want to activate the approach?
We actually do.
Good. What did we say activate the approach will do before you do it?
It's going
What
to...
will it do here?
It'll turn this pink.
It will draw a pink line between the plane and the initial approach fix we selected.
Okay.
And then sequence you onto the approach. Do we want to do that?
Roger.
Yes.
Good. So let's activate it.
So enter.
Uh-huh. Nothing will change here. We're still going to Seal Beach, but look what happens. It'll take that away.
All right, got it. Now our
and
altitude.
now we will turn left.
Okay.
Altitude, we're cleared for the approach. When did we say could we descend to maintain the altitudes on the approach plate? Once we are cleared for the approach. Have we been cleared?
Yes.
Good. Once we cross Seal Beach, we could descend to what altitude?
2,000.
Perfect. So now the altitudes and stuff are all the way up to all up to us because we're cleared for the approach.
Okay, got it.
So Seal Beach is coming up. Yep, you're good. We're starting our turn here, and now we could go ahead and.
I bugged it for 2,000
Perfect.
at 800 feet per
Solid.
minute.
You could hit the vertical speed with the altitude.
All right.
And you could reduce
full
power. I
Yeah.
would say go to 30% power because I want you to stay ahead of the airplane here. So now here's the question. He did not tell us to descend to maintain 2,000. How are we doing this?
Because the approach fix says to.
Because we were cleared for the approach.
Oh, cleared for the approach.
And we are on an active segment of the approach which allows us to go down to 2,000.
Okay, got it.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So right now he sees us descending. He's not freaking out even though the last assigned was 4,000.
Right.
Make sense?
Oh, yeah, so we're cleared for the approach.
Correct.
Everything on here is what we're adhering to.
Correct. It's up to us to make sure the plane flies the approach plate. Does that make sense in your head? All he needs to do is give us a clearance for the approach, cleared approach. We need to make sure of the rest.
That's crazy. Cool. I mean, it's a lot, but
it is a lot. But I'm just throwing it all at you, so later on you could remember and go, oh yeah, I remember you all told me that.
That's right.
Okay, good.
Amazing. So cool, man.
Could we be doing this in the clouds? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just wait till you do this in the clouds and pop out at 200 feet over the runway.
Oh my gosh.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. When could we go lower than 2,000 feet, Catalina?
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. When can we go below 2,000 feet?
4 Hotel Papa, VFR descent to 3,000 is approved.
Right?
Until we can, so how will we land?
Well, once we get to the final approach.
Good. Which is what waypoint?
Clear track
Zilba.
328 with you.
Solid.
4,000.
Clear track 328.
So now,
approach, Roger.
what's the frequency for the approach? 1119? It automatically puts it there. So I need to press this down.
Push this?
Push it. Good. And now switch it up to the active. Good. Perfect. 111.9. Absolutely solid.
All right, so now we're dealing with this. We're not even dealing with comms, are we?
Now we're still dealing with GPS.
Okay.
Right? GPS overlay. But in a moment here, the plane will start feeding off of nav, ground-based navigation, which is the localizer and the glide slope. And it will show you the inputs over here, your vertical and horizontal. Because ILS is a ground-based approach, it's not a GPS approach.
Got it.
So that frequency is the frequency for the localizer 29 right.
Got it.
So it's in the active, VLOC, VOR localizer.
Yeah.
And in a moment here we'll turn, you see that?
Yes.
Coming up on Odeki. Odeki to Drippy, what does it call for in terms of altitude?
2,000.
Perfect. Another thing we could do is get ahead of the airplane and put Torrance Tower frequency in the standby of COM 1, because they're next.
Okay, so ATIS and the SoCal approach, Torrance Tower is going to be, well, there's north and south.
What's the north one? I'm sorry, what's the south one?
124.0.
And what's the north?
133.07.
13307, let's put that in.
133.07.
Perfect, so now we're ready to go. When he says contact tower, we just say contact tower and we flip it.
Okay,
and all we'll tell tower is Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta is ILS 29 right.
Okay.
That's it, and then they'll say 1 Charlie Delta, runway 29 right, clear to land.
Okay.
That's
simple. 328, descend maintain 3000.
Coming up on Drippy.
3000, clear check 220.
All right, I'm going to, at this point, I mean, should we do
1 Charlie Delta, traffic level 11 o'clock and 4 miles northwestbound. Out to indicate 2,400.
Okay, looking.
Looking, 1 Charlie Delta.
Right, because that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Good.
Not seeing anything. He said 11 o'clock?
Yeah, they're above us descending, and that's what he said.
Oh, I see.
And in sight, yep.
In sight.
I have that traffic in sight for 1 Charlie Delta.
1 Charlie Delta, keep them in sight, let the tower know you have them, and contact Torrance Tower on 133.07.
Contacting tower 133.07, 1 Charlie Delta.
Perfect. Flip it. Torrance Tower, Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, ILS 29 right, has the traffic off our left in sight.
Okay.
Torrance Tower, Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta.
Oh, shoot.
ILS 29 right and has the traffic in sight, 1 Charlie Delta.
Cirrus 381 Charlie Delta, Torrance Tower, roger, runway 29 right, clear to land.
29 right, clear to land, 381 Charlie Delta.
Simple. Look what showed up. See it says ILS?
Yeah.
See that? This is your glide slope. That's your localizer. We are on the center.
Yeah.
Our glide slope is above us, so that's showing above us. We are the center.
Okay.
So as we approach Zilba, the glide slope will come down towards us because here's the glide slope, we're here. As we approach it, it will come down and eventually we'll intercept it. When the yellow touches the center, the plane will follow it all the way down to the runway.
Okay.
Only if we have it armed. So hit approach, the approach button. And you see what the approach button does? It arms the what? GS?
Oh.
Glide slope.
Okay.
See that?
Yeah.
So the approach button arms the glide slope and the localizer. So now when the glide slope touches the center, the plane just turned right to track the actual localizer there.
Yeah.
And once the glide slope will touch the center, without doing anything, your plane will descend all the way to the runway.
That is insanity.
So here's what I want you to do. Slow down to 100 knots.
100 knots, full power.
Yep. Turn the boost pump on.
Boost pump.
Whatever you do for landing.
Yeah, boost pump.
Good. And I want you to go flaps 50.
Flaps 50.
Good. And look what happens. The glide slope is coming down to us as we approach Zilba. So right now, we're coming up on here. Glide slope is coming down. And look what happens in a moment. The plane on its
Hello,
own.
this is 519 Charlie Victor. I'm at Angels Gate at 2200.
Add some power to 100 knots.
I am seeking to land at 29
And look at what
right.
the plane will do. Descend to track and follow the glide path all the way to the pavement.
Oh, gotcha.
Could you do this in a cloud?
Yeah, because you're just looking at everything. You're
Yeah.
Pull the power back a little bit.
You see how the plane started descending at Zilba just like the approach plate?
Yeah. That's insane.
It's an instrument approach. You see 29 right in front of us?
Yes.
Number 519 Charlie.
You see how IFR could take us from one runway to another safely in the clouds?
4 mile final, runway 29 right, clear to land.
Number 2, 29 right, straight in. Clear to land, runway 29 right, 9 Charlie Victor.
Speed, we're kind of getting a little
just
too
100
fast.
knots is good, yep.
Yeah, because flaps 50 is good to 119.
Yep. When do you go flaps 100? When runway comes into sight. There's two things we do.
431 Romeo Alpha Torrance Tower, right down when approved.
There's two things we do on an autopilot coupled instrument approach when the runway comes into sight. Autopilot off, flaps 100.
Tower, lane 293 Juliet, just outside of
right. Unless you get the runway many miles out.
293 Juliet Torrance Tower.
In which case you can keep it flaps 50.
So 29er right is on my right.
Yeah, but you see that? That's interesting. So let's disconnect autopilot.
Disconnect autopilot?
Yep. And hand fly to that needle.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what happened before. You see we have a crosswind?
Yeah.
And the plane wasn't
if it's easier, we can go
tracking that. So descend a little bit to catch the glide slope.
520 Torrance Tower, Torrance altimeter is 291
there we go.
North.
And this is what hand flying and instrument approach looks like. Reduce the power. Now you're flying an ILS approach right here.
Torrance altimeter 293.
That's perfect. And you're just saying to that. You want to keep that in the center.
29 left, runway 29 left, it'll land.
All right.
This is an ILS approach.
Victor.
Thank you. And sling, brake, sling 293 Juliet. You'll be number 2 following a Cirrus 1 mile final, runway 29 right, clear to land.
Clear to land.
So now let's assume the runway comes to the side. We just popped out of the clouds. Flaps 100.
Okay, flaps full.
And there you go, normal landing.
For 1 Romeo Alpha, what's your destination?
We're doing an LA tour, so we'll be on.
Right now you're visual. You can see this follows you all the way to the runway.
Roger, there's traffic 4 miles east of the field, southbound, sling 2,100.
Traffic.
A little low.
Tower, where's that Cirrus Apollo 403 Juliet?
For 93 Juliet, they're over the runway.
Oh, okay, thank you.
For 1 Romeo Alpha, the traffic's at your 10 o'clock, 2 miles southbound, 1,900 descending.
There we are.
Roger.
Perfect, and then there's a left here on Charlie. Coming out.
20 Charlie, contact ground.
Contact ground, 20 Charlie.
I don't have ground
First
plugged
1 Charlie
in.
Delta, turn left to Charlie, contact ground.
Left at Charlie and over to ground, 1 Charlie Delta.
I got it. Now you're on ground.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
All right, let's clear the runway.
Welcome to Torrance.
Yeah.
You just flew an instrument ILS.
That's amazing. All right, watch out, Bert.